The armed protests on Inauguration Day, don't do it. Stay at home. Do not even go, not even unarmed. Stay at home. It's a trap. General Akbar, it's a trap. Star Wars, don't go. It's a trap. Make sure that nobody goes, and make sure you get the message out to everyone to not go. I am for the First Amendment, the right to free assembly, and I'm for the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. But this is a time when those two amendments, rights of the American people, are going to be used against you by the system, by the state, to destroy your legitimacy. Do not go. This is a time not for George Washington, but for Gandhi. Gandhi, Indian guy known for nonviolence. This is important for you to hear right now, I think, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Because while everybody, if you've heard about Gandhi, you've heard he was for nonviolence. And the story you've heard is that because nonviolence is such a virtue and, it's good to not be violent, blah, blah, blah. What you're not told is that he was a cunning man, a really cunning man, and it was a strategy. So we were under the British. You had George Washington, get your guns, kill the British, throw them out, right? Well, we didn't have guns. And so Gandhi picked up this nonviolent strategy of nonviolence that went hand in hand with non-cooperation. That the British would, that the Indian people would not cooperate with the British. And if the British wanted to use guns and wanted to use weapons to brutalize us into cooperation, we would not cooperate. So how many are you going to kill? How many are you going to put in jail? What are you going to do? That was the whole idea, that we will not fight. Put your arms down. Let them do the killing. Let them do the killing. If you start doing the killing, if you start showing up with firearms, then where is your moral legitimacy in all of this? So he led these protest marches that were designed to disrupt the British imperial economy in India. And the response was that they would, of course, the British forces. Now, but the British forces, the British, in a country of 400 million people, there were not, millions of British people in India. There were only a few. The rest of them, the fighting arm, so to speak, were Indians, right? The police, the armed forces, they were all Indians. So Gandhi's idea was that that they would not fight their own people, and they would put it on the conscience of the people who had the guns of whether they wanted to shoot and kill their own compatriots. It worked. The British India became virtually ungovernable for the British, and they had to pack up and go. And they did. And nonviolence worked. And this is a time when you need to do the same thing. Americans need to do the same thing. Put down your guns, stay at home. If the time for guns ever comes, who knows? But this is not the time. Put your guns down, stay at home, do not go out. Of course, it is going to happen that this message will not get to many, or messages like this will not get to many, or even if they do, they'll say, fuck that shit, I'm going out with my gun. That will happen. And even if it doesn't, some will go out unarmed, and, agent provocateurs will show up, and, among them, they will provoke violence, and then there will be violence, and these people are going to then say that, oh, look, the Trump supporters are violent and blah, 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 so that's a reason for crackdowns. Do not be a part of that. Some will do that. Do not be a part of it. Stay at home. Be nonviolent. Put down your guns. Don't be seen with your guns. Because if there are 10 people out there with guns, there should be 10,000 who are seen everywhere saying, we're not fighting. We're not fighting. They're putting it on us. They're putting it on us. They're wrong. They're the villains. Put down your guns. Stay at home. Right? Make freedom ring.